This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by the good folks over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for people living in the Portland, Oregon area. And easewellness.com is there for hemp-derived CBD products delivered via the mail to 42 U.S. states. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, June 5th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 736 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Today's top story is news out of Washington, D.C., where yesterday a coalition of 12 U.S. governors sent a letter to congressional leaders telling them to leave states alone to experiment with legalizing marijuana. The bipartisan letter was signed by obvious cannabis-friendly states like California, Massachusetts, and Oregon, as well as a couple of not-so-obvious states like Utah and North Dakota. The three-page letter, which you can find in full over at Marijuana Moment, urges Senate leaders Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and House leaders Nancy Pelosi and Kevin McCarthy to pass the STATES Act, a proposed bill carving out protections for state legal cannabis. Keeping our sights in Washington, D.C., we have a second top headline today of a new report from the Congressional Research Services, a division of the Library of Congress that serves House and Senate members in providing research and analysis that suggests that consuming marijuana might not actually impair a person's ability to drive safely. At least that's what the stats seem to show, as credible studies are finding no rise in the rate of fatal accidents in states with newly legal cannabis programs. This is definitely one of our industry's bigger issues to figure out, so I'd make sure to read this one in full. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Our final top story today is a bit of error correction, though thankfully not on our part, but on the part of Bruce Linton, CEO of Canadian marijuana giant Cant Be Growth, who appeared on Fox Business last week and repeated the debunked prohibitionist trope that illicit market marijuana was being laced with the deadly opioid fentanyl by dastardly dealers. Just to be 100% clear on that, that does not happen. It's not an actual thing. That's a lie that people like Kevin Sabet at the discredited Smarter Approaches to Marijuana use to try to trick people, because that's all they have at this point. Linton unfortunately fell for that, and last week touted legal cannabis as a way for consumers to avoid fentanyl-laced marijuana. It came out earlier this week that Linton was relying on a now discredited police report about contaminated cannabis, something he's apologized for. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for people living in the Portland, Oregon area. Everyone at Ease is super excited about a new campaign they're running this month to help support LGBTQ+ organizations. When you purchase special Pride-themed products over at ease.com, a portion of your purchase will be donated to those very important activist groups. Ease will be running Pride-themed promos all month, so zip over to ease.com today and throughout June to see what's up for offer. That's ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to everyone at Ease for the support that makes our show possible. All right, time for the Blitz. Matt Lamers has a good write-up of a large survey conducted in Canada asking people their thoughts on different Canadian businesses. The survey included cannabis companies this year, and the results are interesting. As the survey shows, there's a steep drop-off in the overall awareness level of marijuana companies after the top two spots, with Aurora Cannabis taking number one, with 21% polled having a positive opinion and 3% a negative opinion, followed by Canopy Growth at 17% positive and 3% negative. Number three, Can Trust, comes in at just 9% positive and 3% negative. A good one to open up today. A new proposed bill in the Oregon State House was approved by a vote of 42 to 15 that will make things easier for people seeking to expunge past marijuana-related crimes. If signed into law, the bill would remove fees associated with expungement, as well as the need for applicants to submit fingerprints and background checks. The bill has been cycled successfully through the Senate already, but has to head back for one more vote based on a technical change before it can be taken up by Oregon Governor Kate Brown. Multi-state cannabis operator Green Growth Brands has announced a deal to acquire Florida-based marijuana company Spring Oaks Greenhouses for just under $55 million. Upon closing, the acquisition will give Green Growth Brands the rights to the 35 dispensaries allowed under Florida law for each vertically integrated medical marijuana provider. Yesterday, the Oakland City Council voted 8-0 in favor of a non-binding resolution calling for police in the city to effectively decriminalize the possession of certain kinds of psychedelic drugs like ayahuasca, ibogaine, mescaline, and mushrooms. As Chris Roberts over at Marijuana Moment writes, this is a quote-unquote decisive first step towards more sensible drug policies for psychedelics, and is similar to how Oakland started down the path towards legal cannabis. France is showing some possible signs that it could soon launch a medical marijuana program as senators debated the issue yesterday ahead of a June 26th release of a government-commissioned medical cannabis report. One senator said that a 2-year pilot program was ready to roll just as soon as the health ministry gave the go-ahead. Chris Moore over at Mary Jane has a good write-up of a luxury vacation resort in Ontario, Canada that is embracing marijuana by allowing its guests to consume on site. If you book a stay at the adults-only Sir Sam's Inn and Spa, just a few hours from Toronto, you won't actually be able to puff J's in your room, but you will be free to smoke out on your patio and at designated consumption areas located throughout the property. And finally for today, Marijuana Business Daily is a good chart of the week showing the relative strength of the current legal cannabis market, as well as the overall estimated demand for marijuana nationwide, illicit or otherwise. Right now, legal marijuana ticks in at around the $10 billion mark, which is just under how much business Taco Bell does in a year, but the overall tappable market stands in the $50 to $60 billion range, which is just knocking at the door of the size of the $72 billion wine market. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today. Today.
One take, Shay. One take.